Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is going to be another movie review for you guys. And this movie I'm going to be reviewing, I really didn't know too much about this movie, but it really surprised me, I have to say. And that movie I'm going to be reviewing is The Rewrite. Now, this movie originally is technically a 2014 movie because it came out in October in the UK, but it finally came out for the US yesterday. So that is why I decided to review this movie. And I really didn't know too much about The Rewrite. I will make a confession though. I really like Hugh Grant as an actor. I think he picks very good roles. I think he's picked very good movies. He's done some very good romantic comedies, music and lyrics. I love music and lyrics and 2 weeks notice, some really good romantic comedies, some that he's been really good in, and I was looking forward to see how he would be in this movie. And I have to say, The Rewrite is another great movie from him. I think this movie was a lot of fun, and I kind of sort of loved it. I'm gonna be honest. I kind of sort of loved The Rewrite, and there's a couple reasons why. First of all, let's get to the plot of The Rewrite, which honestly is pretty fascinating, and I really do like the plot of The Rewrite. You basically have Hugh Grant plays this guy Keith Michaels. He is this very successful screenwriter. He won an Academy Award for Best Screenplay in 1998 for this musical called Paradise Falls. And, basically, um, something like that. This movie he wrote about, paradise and everything. And basically, ever since then, though, he has not made anything good. And he's tried to find things that are good for him. He's trying to, write more screenplays and everything, but just it doesn't seem to be working for him. So he's also gone divorced. He's gone broke. His life is really on a bad path. So he decides to start taking a he decides to start teaching a film class at Binghamton University in New York. And along the way, he falls in love with this single mother who is there, and basically, she kind of inspires him to continue to do his screenplays, things like that. And that's basically a plot of The Rewrite. And there are a bunch of other plots with some of his students, but that's basically the plot of The Rewrite. And it's honestly a very inspiring plot, and I really do like that about The Rewrite. I think it's a very, very good movie overall, and I'm going to get into why it's such a good movie. First of all, let's get into the acting of The Rewrite. The acting here is actually very good. Now, I will admit, it's nothing amazing. This movie's nothing amazing. It's simply a fun movie, but there is some very good acting here. Hugh Grant as Keith Michaels. This is sort of a different role for Hugh Grant, because in his other roles, he's played sort of like the boyish charm and sort of immature and things like that. But in this movie, he's not really like that at all. He's much more serious. He's much more, he's much more serious. He's much more not into himself. And one of the things I like about his character is that he is not self-centered whatsoever. He doesn't think he's the greatest thing ever. He realizes that he's failing and he wants to do something about it. And you can see how successful he's been. There's some scenes where you see him winning the Oscar for his movie, and he just feels so upset because he never got anything better than that. And some of the best scenes in the movie are actually him teaching the class. I think one of the things that kept this movie so interesting was Hugh Grant, because he just really got into this character. And as I said, this role was very out of the box for him, but you really go with it, and he embraced it. He really did. He didn't just play like straightforward. He really did embrace it and played with the seriousness very well. And I definitely really liked that about his character. There's also a really good subplot with him and his son, and when he talks about why he wrote the movie and how he needs to have a better relation with his son, which I really liked. And there's a lot of great things about his character. Some of the best scenes in the movie are just watching him teach this class, them talking about movies and things like that, and it's a lot of fun to watch. Marissa Tomei in this movie, I will admit my only problem in this movie really is her character. Sometimes in the movie, she kind of seemed out of place and didn't really have much of a story other than to motivate Keith. But other than that, I really didn't have a problem with it because I thought their chemistry was pretty good, really. Their chemistry is pretty perfect. I think their chemistry definitely was really good in the movie. You can definitely tell they're going to get together the second you meet them, but I thought their chemistry was really solid overall. They really did a great job. Bella Heathcote in the movie is also very good as Karen, and I really want to talk about some of the other supporting roles. J.K. Simmons is in this movie. I have to say, very interesting to see J.K. Simmons after Whiplash because it's a very different role for him. But he was also really good in this movie. I definitely really enjoyed him in this movie as well. Allison Janney's really good. Everyone is really good. And also, I want to talk about the kids who he teaches the film class to all of them were really good, I have to say. None of them really felt out of place. None of them felt like they should have been in there. No, they all felt really good, and I definitely thought they all did a very good job. So overall, the acting is pretty solid. The directing by Mark Lawrence, he has done almost every movie with Hugh Grant. He did 2 Weeks Notice, he did Music and Lyrics, he did You Hear About the Morgans, which was pretty terrible, but he, once again, really did a great job directing this movie because he knew how to direct, since he is a director of a movie, he knows a lot about film and things like that. And this movie has a lot to say about film, I have to say. And that's one of the things I loved about this movie is how much it had to say about film. So the directing is really good, but just really good. The writing in this movie, though, is probably the best part of this movie. Because if there's anything that I would recommend to you guys, it's the writing. The writing is what's going to make you stay interested in this story, and it's what made me stay interested in the story. Because the movie has a lot to say about film. There's so many references to film and so many things about why certain films. There's a whole speech about why films have such a kick-ass woman and why you need a kick-ass woman and things like that in all your movies, why you need a protagonist, why you need an antagonist, and I like that the movie really got into that. And there's some great scenes where he's talking to, as I said, some of the best scenes are when he's teaching the class, but some of the other best scenes are when he is talking to his students about the films they've made and how talented they are and how they can change it and what makes a good film. It was a very interesting topic to see because, I mean, it's really fascinating when you think about it, all that goes into a movie, and this movie reminds you of that. And I thought the writing was just really spot on, definitely. There were a lot of times when it just felt like it just felt like conversations that you'd have with your friends. If you are a film buff, you are definitely I myself, I wouldn't consider myself a film buff, but I consider myself someone that loves movies. But if you are a film buff, you are going to love this movie. There are references to Star Wars in here. There are references to Quentin Tarantino movies. There are references to action movies, comedies, dramas. There are references to any kind of movie you can think of is referenced in this movie. And I love that about the writing to this movie. Writing is by far the best part. The score to this movie is also very good. I thought the score was very solid overall. Cinematography, this movie was pretty good as well. And the editing, I will say there are a few problems with the editing here and there. My only real problem in the movie is that some parts in the middle dragged on a little bit. The last half of the movie dragged on a little bit, and I felt it could have been cut down a little bit. I didn't care as much about the last half, but I will say that this movie is very solid overall, and I definitely want to talk about some other reasons why I really like this movie. As I said, it definitely had a lot to say about film and things like that, and I thought that was really good about the movie. One of the other things this movie does is it really has a lot of really great messages of how you can, of how one mistake and how someone who is a washed up actor can turn into someone who is still got it, because of course at the end of the movie, it's not really much of a spoiler, but he realizes that he does still have it and that he is such a talented writer, and it's really great to see his students inspiring him. When the movie was over, I will admit this movie is predictable. Definitely it's predictable. Again, as I said, these two are going to get together the second they meet. You just know it. It's that kind of movie. It's the kind of movie where they're going to get together and things like that. But honestly, guys, that really did not bother me because of how much fun I had watching this story and how much I enjoyed the movie overall. This movie also pokes fun at film. It does. And one of the other things I like about the movie is that the comedy in this movie is genuinely funny. This movie is definitely funny. It had a lot of slapstick. It didn't have any slapstick, which I also enjoy, because a lot of movies nowadays, a lot of those romantic comedies have a lot of slapstick humor, and this did not have that at all. And I like that. It actually pokes fun at that. It pokes fun at film and why comedy isn't as good as a genre as it should be, and I like that. It even has references to Birdman in there. Birdman. That's how relevant this movie is, and I love that about the movie. And that's one of the things that I just loved about this movie was the references to film, and that's one of the things that I think you guys should appreciate about the movie is how much this movie cares about that. And now, would I recommend this movie? Definitely I'd recommend this movie. One of the things I love about Hugh Grant and Mark Lawrence is that when they write a story, they really know what they're doing. Music and Lyrics did this as well. The rewrite, focuses so much on film and knows how to tell a story about that. Music and Lyrics also did that. That's one of the reasons I love Music and Lyrics, because it knows how to tell a story about music and knows all about music and things like that. It almost seems like Hugh Grant is an actual screenwriter in this movie. While in Music and Lyrics, it almost seemed like his character was into music, and I love that they do that, because Hugh Grant really gets into his character when he does that, and I love that about this movie. I thought they did a really good job with that. But overall, guys, that's really it for my review of The Rewrite. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I would recommend this movie. I think this is a very good movie. I think it's very solid overall. It has some great scenes, definitely. I will admit there are some parts in the movie. My only other complaint is that the movie has some unnecessary drama. There are some things that happen to some of his students, and I really just did not care what happened to them. I cared about him talking about their future and how much of a future they have and how great their screenplay is, but I didn't really care about their futures overall. It's really the only thing I didn't care about. Other than that, guys, this is my review of The Rewrite. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please check out this movie if you haven't. I think if you are a cinephile or if you are into movies or you're a film buff or something like that, you're going to love this movie, and I highly recommend you guys check it out. That's it for my review. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for another movie review. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.